to the Dirty Bag Podcast. I'm your host, Cookie, and as always, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for being here with me. I'm going to always say that because you can be anywhere, but you're choosing to spend your time with me. And it never goes unnoticed. It's just so many distractions in this world, so many podcasts, so many pages, so many different social media outlets, and you come here to hear me talk. So, first of all, reminder, we do have the YouTube channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. I got to tell y'all. So if you're watching the YouTube, my makeup, my lipstick looks a little unhinged. And it really ties in today's episode. So we're talking about sales. Shout out to Popeyes because at this point, it doesn't matter what they do. We're going to rush and spend our money. So I saw a post talking about how everybody was talking about getting in shape. And Popeyes drops this strawberry biscuit. Now all these big back bitches running to Popeyes. I was that big back bitch. I definitely ran to Popeyes. Y'all, it wasn't that good. It wasn't that good. But because it's Popeyes and because of the reputation and because you know it's going to smack, we going to run and spend that coin. But I'm definitely going to the gym tomorrow because my back needs to be unbigged. So, yes, so that's a good segue into what we're discussing today. I've been in a lot of conversations recently that have been discussing businesses and growth and sales and all that good stuff. And I'm reminded that, I have a 17-year sales career under my belt. So I know a little bit about some shit. I know a little something. And as a black woman who has worked in predominantly white male environments in sales, you learn some tricks that everybody isn't always privy to. And I always want to make sure I'm giving back to my people, those that need it, like these tidbits, because we're innovative as hell. Let's be honest, black people are the most creative human beings on the face of the earth. We'll turn a business into anything. Like anything sitting around, we will turn that shit into a business. But obviously there are processes that you need as well to be successful. I'll spend a lot of time going to pop-up shops or going to events where there's a lot of vendors. I love it. Just black excellence everywhere. Somebody's selling shea butter, somebody's selling plates, somebody's selling hair products. There's a lot going on, but the salesman in me is always looking for the blind spots, okay? So we're going to kind of get into that today. So really, this is an episode where you can take the meat, spit out the bone. I'm good with it, but I want to always make sure I'm being of service with the resources and the education that I have. Some might agree, some may disagree, but I hope that this episode helps those of you that have products and you do more face-to-face sales as opposed to social media. Because I know we got all these social media coaches, that's all well and good, but sometimes you got to hit the streets, that old school guerrilla marketing, that old school guerrilla sales. You got to go meet the people where they are in real life. And of course, I think while people are spoiled by social media, you have to have those skills when you run across somebody. Because the fact of the matter is, and this is something one of my first bosses told me when I entered corporate, is that every conversation you have, a sales transaction is taking place. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're talking to your kids, your man, your wife, your friends. Every conversation, somebody is selling and somebody is buying. Now, the question is, which one are you? Are you the consumer or are you the provider? And there's no wrong answer with this. It's just important to know that a game is always being played. If somebody is calling you with some tea, a sales transaction is taking place. Somebody is trying to sell you on feeling a type of way about whoever it is they're speaking about, okay? If your kids don't want to go to bed and they're asking for a snack, they're trying to sell you on not making them go to bed. Like they're trying to buy more time. Every conversation is a sale. I just want to make sure you're navigating this thing correctly. That's all. And also, speaking of sales, these beauty supplies got to start giving us a disclaimer on selling these cheap-ass wigs, letting us know you got about 3 business days. You got about 3 24-hour wears before it's time to throw it in the trash. I've been rocking this little curl. I'm in my big curly haired era, but you also got to know your limitations when the wig costs $25.99. It's probably not going to last long. And when you start giving sheepdog, it's time to chuck that bitch in the trash can. Get you a new wig, sis. It didn't even cost that much. It was less than a tank of gas. And yes, I'm talking to myself. Cause it's time to retire this thing, and this is when I have to question my friendships because ain't nobody said nothing. Y'all wrong as hell for that. But all right, let me get back on track here. So we're gonna discuss a few things that are very important for you to understand, take note of, and implement when we're talking about selling a product. So when I go to these events and I see all of these vendors or these pop up shops, one thing I notice is that you can tell when people don't want to be there. Let me tell y'all something. If you are going to pay the fee, because I know that with a lot of events, there's typically a vendor fee. If you're going to spend all this money, haul all this product on site, set it up, go through all of this trouble. When a prospect walks your way, act like you want to be there, please. First and foremost, no matter what you're selling, there's tons of other people doing the exact same damn thing you doing. Your goal is to stand out. Typically, the best way to stand out, no matter what it is you do, is your personality. People buy from folks they like. I know it's unfair. It's a cruel world. You worked really hard to become an expert in your product or your service, but you know what? You ain't the only one doing it, so you have to stand out. And a lot of standing out includes likability. Okay? So we all good with this. People need to like you sometimes to buy from you, unless you're a Jamaican restaurant. you might they might be rude as hell, but you know that food's gonna be fire. So that's number one. A lot of folks don't like sales. They like building brands and all of that stuff, but when it comes to people, they clam up. And what's crazy is I've learned that a lot of business owners are like some real introverts. I find it interesting. I'm gonna let y'all cook. You know, I'm a whole extrovert over here, but I'm gonna let y'all make it. But yes, people purchase from folks they like. So when someone is walking past your booth, it's not for you to just look that you need to get up, baby. Show time. The curtain is pulled back. You done logged the man hours making this product or this plate or these ribs or whatever it is. You better act like you rock with you. Because when you're excited about your product, it gets other people excited as well. Like, don't nobody want to buy nothing that you feel like, if it looks like you are there begrudgingly, if it looks like you really don't care about what you're doing, but it seemed like a good idea to make some money, ain't nobody trying to buy from you. We need enthusiasm. So there's that. All right. Number two, we don't talk about this enough. So I'm going to tell y'all, one of the jobs that really honed in on my sales skills was selling cars. Absolutely the worst job I've ever had, but it really stretched me. I probably got the most people skills from selling cars. So I sold cars for Enterprise, y'all. Now, they don't budge on pricing because typically it is priced below market, even though sometimes them cars is raggedy as hell. But what I was trained to do, and this is where a lot of y'all mess up. You come out the gate just like spewing how good your product is or whatever it is you got before you figure out who it is that's in front of you. Identifying the personality type of the potential client in front of you, it's not only going to help you sell, you'll know how to craft your pitch if you do sales pitches. I prefer to just use my personality. But it'll tell you how to approach them because the bottom line is you really do want to mirror your customer. I'm going to break down what that means. This is very, very important. There's 4 types of people that spend money, okay? We have our very bold personality types, the extroverts. These are usually the folks that think they know every damn thing. Half the time, these folks think they know more than you do about your product. Really, they really don't. They're just cocky. So it can be overwhelming. It can be a little intimidating. You know, they're just aggressive, but that's just how they are. In fact, we call them bold. So that's a very bold personality type. That's somebody that's going to try to intimidate you. Never mind the fact they need your product. So what you have to do is you have to match that energy. Like somebody coming at you loud and strong about your product, you got to be able to stand on your shit and give it back. Don't be no punk when somebody approaches you about your product, being all extra and trying to walk all over you. With this person, you have to, let them know what it is. This is what I have. This is my price. This is why it's good. Yes or no. And 9 times out of 10, when you have that kind of confidence, when you're in front of somebody, a client or anything of that nature, they're going to have to respect it. A lot of y'all have products and y'all get punked by customers because you're scared. Cut that shit out. All right. So that's the bold person. They like to feel like they're in control. And a lot of times, the more you talk to them and peel back them layers, you'll find out why. It's a game they play, and they want to feel like they have the upper hand. They probably want to haggle, negotiate. Don't let them play in your face. So we got that person, arrogant, strong, bold. Stand your ground with those kind of people. Next, you have your scary, reserved, kind of tentative person. This is somebody that typically never spends money. They don't spend money out the gate. They take their time to purchase. So being super aggressive with like a shy, tentative, scary person, it's actually going to turn them off. So what you have to do is kind of explain the product, but don't try to hard close them. You cannot hard close a scary buyer. It just doesn't work. You'll lose out on business. So if you can meet them where they are, understand they don't like to make decisions right then and there, but if you talk to them the right way, you ask qualifying questions, the walls will come down. Okay? Again, you are mirroring your customer. People that don't like spending money without going home and talking to their spouse, without thinking about it, without checking their bank account, you have to handle them with kitten gloves. Give them your card. Even if you need that sale to break even, and it's so important, you don't want to let them know that. People can smell desperation on salesmen. They, not salesmen, anybody. Folks can smell when you are desperate and you really need that sale. It's a turnoff. You aggressive, you sweating, you talking fast. Nobody likes that. Then you have that extrovert. Okay, so your extrovert client is somebody that's gonna talk to you about everything but while y'all are standing there. They're gonna talk to you about their kids, their hair appointment, what they did last week, happy hour. They're gonna take you on a journey. That talkative, expressive, introverted person, and the thing is, you have to let them do it. Because obviously their hot button is talking about their life and reeling you into their world and really knowing you care. There are some people that they don't mind spending money as long as they know you give a shit about them. Now, granted, you don't. You trying to get your bag, right? But you got to understand what type of person is in front of you. So if you have a potential customer or a client that wants to tell you about what they did at Freaknik back in 1994, their kids, how their wife is getting on their nerves, you need to go ahead and listen. Again, this is an opportunity to tear their walls down. Because if I didn't sit up here and listen to your life story for 20 minutes, surely I care about you, right? Of course, I care about everything you got to say. Because to them, you can sit up here listening to me all this time. You like me. Okay, you can have my money. You just got to let them do what they do. But don't forget to close. You get so wrapped up in their life, you forget that you're there to make some money. So don't let them take you too deep down that rabbit hole of their life and a bunch of information that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China that you ain't trying to close. All right, I done talked about your kids, your great grandma, your ancestors. How many of these would you like today? What day can I get you in? Always be closing. Now, the statistical person, that data-oriented customer, that's going to be the one that's going to get you. This is the part where it's so important to not only know your product, but maybe some hard facts around your product or your service. Maybe the history around your product and service, because believe it or not, no matter how hard you've worked on your business, there is somebody out there that literally sits up for no good reason and does research on that very thing. They do it for fun. Just because they have a wealth of knowledge in their back pocket, and they're going to test you to make sure you know what it is you're talking about. They going to make sure, if I'm spending this money, do you even know what you're doing? Do you even know what's in your product? Do you even know? So when you're dealing with very statistical, data-oriented, really intelligent prospects, you got to know your shit. You got to be prepared for anything they throw at you about your product. Because if you don't know the answer, the way they're going to see it is, I'm smarter than you. You don't know anything about what it is you're doing. So why on earth would I spend money for you? Now you done lost the client because you didn't know what you was talking about. And that's also another reason why you should definitely go into business with things that you know you are called to do. There's being called to do something, and there are things that sound like a good idea for you to make money. It's a lot of that out there, and as we see, they don't last long. It is very important to know in your heart of hearts that you are called to do what you're doing. So that way you don't get embarrassed and then it don't flop, and then 3 years later you trying something else. I'm just saying, know when you're called and know when you just bored and you trying to keep up with the Joneses. Don't do that. So yes, know your shit. Know your shit. Please. So those are very important things. Before you even think to pitch somebody, it's really important to know who you're dealing with, who's in front of you. When you know somebody is scary, back off and be tender. When you know somebody is real statistical and with them facts, you better spit some facts about your product. Spit some facts about the history of it. Mirroring your customer will make life so much easier for you. And then we have objections. First of all, some folks get disappointed when somebody tells them no. Honestly, sometimes no doesn't really mean no. It just means you have not made a solid case for why I should spend money with you. You've not provided a good value proposition for me. You haven't really told me why I should spend money. You've been talking at me, but you're not talking to me. A lot of objections you might get, the most common one, give me your card, I'll think about it. And y'all really be letting folks go when they say this? Absolutely not. When somebody says, I'll think about it, this is an opportunity for you to peel back those layers. First of all, see where you missed the mark and where you have an opportunity to grow. Because when somebody says no to you, that should always be an opportunity for you to get better, to go back to the drawing board to make sure that doesn't happen again. Somebody says, I'll think about it. Okay, what is it you need to think about? Now they got an answer. And also, as you're identifying what type of personality type you have, you need to reel that into your sales pitch, okay? So if somebody, let's just say you're selling an ointment for sore muscles, right? And you ask enough questions to find out that somebody has like 4 babies, 4 kids, and that they're always running around, you can always reel that back in. I remember you said that you have babies. You're always carrying them. I understand that's put some strain on your back. So you would agree that this ointment might be a benefit to you, correct? That you always got to do that. Always throw it back on them. You've figured out what personality type is in front of you. You've asked all these qualifying questions, so bring it back up. Didn't you tell me your back hurt? So why wouldn't you purchase this right now to get the relief you need today? You have to take time, spend time with potential customers or prospects, asking things about them so that way you can bring it back up later when they give you excuses for why they don't want to book with you or buy with you. Girl, my edges are thin. I'm just trying to get my hair back healthy. I'm trying to get my hair healthy. Okay, so what do you mean you don't want to book with me? You yourself just said that your hair was not healthy and your edges were thin. I specialize in natural health care, so in natural hair care. So what's stopping you from booking me today? Okay? If you are a chef, somebody says, I don't know if I want to book a chef. Okay, you said you have a big event, right? You already stressed out. These are your words. You really got to get folks to talk to you. Because the more folks talk, the more they're going to give you the information you need to close them. Spend time asking people questions that you can bring back later when they decide that they need to wait. They need to think about it. People don't need to think about shit. You just need to be good at what you do. There's not one person under the sound of my voice that cannot book clients or sell a product. You just have to ask the right questions and not give up. You've spent way too much time investing in your business, in your processes. You've had sleepless nights. You've had things go wrong. You've emptied your bank account, and you're going to let somebody just tell you, I want to think about it, give me your business card? No. You're either going to close them today or you're going to get so close that you guys form a certain bond that you're going to keep in touch until they're ready to buy. This is the game we play. And folks need whatever it is you have, folks need your product. They do. But it's up to you not to drop the ball when you're delivering the why. Really, it's really simple. What you don't want to do is be super aggressive. Now, I understand when you have an email list and all of that and you formed a relationship and folks have told you, send me a message when you get some new products. Some of y'all just be out here spamming people. Y'all think that the best way to sell is to tag 55 people in your post or to force people to share your story. Stop doing that. First of all, it's disrespectful as hell. You are forcing free marketing on people that you are not paying. Do not treat your followers like that. Don't treat your friends like that. This happens to me a lot. And here's what's wrong with that. Number one, you're trying to get people to share something that might not rock with what they're trying to put out. It might conflict with the message or the aesthetic of their page or their stories. What you can do when you have a client that you know, a client or a customer that just rides for your product, they love you, they've shared you a bunch of times. First of all, do not take advantage and say, okay, well, they've purchased from me X amount of times. I'm just going to tell them, I'm going to tell them to share this. Absolutely not. When somebody is making you money, you need to share the wealth. Don't demand or force somebody to do free marketing for you. Make it worth their while. Because when you show folks they're appreciated, they're going to always show up for you. Always. If you look at my early Instagram posts, I promise y'all, if you go back and look at my shit, Left-Handed Gemini, I'm going to put it out there for you. If you look at me from 2016 to 2019, 90% of my social media was literally promoting other people's businesses. Now, granted, I had some friends jump down my ass about that because I made some folks some money. And, after a while, that's all folks see you as. You got to put some boundaries on that. Don't just be out here doing free marketing for folks on social media and they ain't trying to break you off something because they're making money off your mouth. I learned this the hard way. If you don't set boundaries when life starts lifing and you don't have time to just post people's products or businesses anymore, you'll see where you really stand with them. A lot of y'all think y'all got friends and no, you just a free marketing tool. I'm saying it because I've been there. Swear for God. Look at my posts circa 2017, 2018. Half of them folks don't talk to me now. And guess what I'm also not doing? Free marketing. Free promotion. Know your worth. And let's get on that as well. Let's talk about that real quick. So there's a lot of creatives with platforms. You have influencers that follow you. You have people that respect your opinion. When you know that you have a gift, your personality is your gift. I understand it's not food, it's not nails, it's not makeup, it's not a detailing service, you're not a lawyer, but for some of us, your personality is your art. Your voice is your art. Don't let people take advantage of that. If you're somebody that folks are always saying, let me pick your brain, guess what? You got a gift. You may not know this. People constantly asking you to pick your brain. You have a gift. That is your art. Don't let people take advantage of you. Do not let folks take advantage of you. That is labor. Intellectual property it is. If people respect you enough that much, they can pay you to get inside your mind. Are we clear on that? Listen. Don't let folks play with you. So yes, with sales, it is about strategy. You don't have to be a con man or nothing like that, but sales is really a game of just taking your time and understanding who's in front of you. Because the fact of the matter is, also, what you have may not be for that person, but that person knows so many other people. So when you treat people right, you get to know them. Don't just treat them like a dollar sign. Don't treat them like a sales quota. And you really get to know them and treat them like humans. You might not get a sale off that person, but they might send other people to you because of how you treated them. They trust other people that they care about in your hands. You have to be mindful of how you handle people when you have a business. So I really hope that helps somebody. I really hope it does. If you have additional questions on that, get with your girl. I know a little something about the sales world and converting a conversation to coins. So yes, we have just made it through Q1. Hopefully it didn't whoop nobody's ass. It's been great to me. I hope it's great to you. Whatever it is we're in right now, we're applicable. Wear your mask, wash your hands, socially distance, and when you get a free moment, please remember to clean out your dirty bag. Till next time.
Well, darling, there's only one God.